We're live. Good morning. Good Winning Wednesday. Happy Winning Wednesday. So today we're going to talk a little bit about your inner saboteurs. So if you caught my Monday motivation message and email, I was talking about a little bit about things that might block you. And we can have this idea of success in our conscious mind. But if our subconscious mind is not on board with that, if it, A, doesn't believe it really in the background, it'll do everything it can to sabotage your success. So if you're coaching consciously or subconsciously only, and you're not making sure that they're in alignment and congruence with each other, what tends to happen is if you're working only subconsciously and you're getting all these great releases and things are happening and you're changing your beliefs systems, if your conscious mind is not aware of what you're changing, or it doesn't believe that you release something, it reinstalls the old patterns. And these old patterns are essentially things that were programmed into us from a young age. They were, things that we were imprinted on, usually between the ages of 0 to 7. So these are our primary imprint years. We are taking in all of the information from the outside world through our five senses, and we're perceiving it as truth. So it imprints on us, and then we continue to run those same programs over and over and over. Now, conversely, if you're only coaching consciously and your subconscious mind is, secretly thinking that, maybe you have like this goal of, I'm going to be a successful entrepreneur, or I'm going to hit $1 million. And your subconscious mind is like, yeah, no way. Like that could be unsafe. That is unknown. We don't know. Like the subconscious mind is only concern. Its main concern is to keep you safe and keep you comfortable, and it's a survival thing. Like you have survived up until this point, doing all those old patterns, doing all of those old things, living that life as the identity that you've created already, and you've lived up until now. You've been able to feed yourself. You've had shelter. You've had, friends or whatever. So if you are going for things that it deems to be unsafe or is unknown, then it does everything it can to hold you back. It blocks you. It feeds you negative thoughts. It sabotages you. So then you're running through life feeling like you're stuck. You're like something is there and you just can't get past it. Or you'll hit success and then you'll immediately drop back down because, or maybe not even immediately, but you roll back into that previous identity that you built for yourself. So when we talk about saboteurs, and real quick before we go further into this, I have carpet people that are coming today, and I'm hoping they're not going to show up during the live, but they could get here anytime between now and 10 o'clock. So we're going to put it out there that they're not going to come during the live, so I don't have to like get up in the middle of this. But we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the saboteurs. So part of what I talked about, saboteurs are not, they're not like an external thing that's going on. Like we can even get even more like into the quantum realm of this, but with everything that we perceive to be external, like even how we see the world, like if we see the world as bad or good or difficult or easy, these are all perceptions based on the filters that we put on, at a young age and further solidified with evidence every single time something might have happened. So when you are deeply ingrained with these patterns, we can physically make things happen in our outside world, and it's based on our perception of things. So if we're having these deep rooted experiences that are from past traumas, like something good might happen, and you'll have like doubts or fears or things or triggers or whatever that start to whisper in your ear, and then essentially you're falling back into those old patterns. So some of the saboteurs that we can talk about, like inner critic, and that's probably what the most people resonate with, is that's that inner voice inside that's telling you you're not good enough. That's telling you that you're not meant to have happiness, or whatever. That inner critic could speak that negative self-talk so much that we're constantly doubting ourselves. And that can stem from childhood experiences, especially if you had like a critical parent or best friend or teacher or whatever. But it creates this deep-seated belief that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of making $1 million. I'm not worthy of being this great leader. I'm not worthy of having my voice heard. So when we get into like the people pleasing, that is a main thing that comes from this need for approval or validation. Essentially, you're prioritizing others' needs above your own. And that can be at the expense of, your own goals, things that maybe you don't even like want to say yes to something, and you end up saying yes. So these things, sorry, I'm trying to go back to my previous email so I can see what and all I said, but these are all previous things that can be coming from like abandonment, even like that could be like physical or emotional or maybe psychological, or you can get abandonment feelings from being left in the crib for too long crying. So you're afraid of being alone, you're afraid of being hurt. You can even be afraid of intimacy, or you have fear, anxiety, or attachment issues. So you people please because you don't want to be abandoned. And then there's perfectionism. This basically you're setting impossibly high standards for yourself. This can lead to a constant feeling of being inadequate, fear of failure, even the subconscious mind could even be fearful of success, because again, it's an unknown thing. You can have this thought that perhaps if I hit this $1 million, that people are going to come after me, or if I am super successful as an entrepreneur, then my family is going to want to take all my money away from me because they've been in a poor situation, or I will owe them something because they raised me up until this point, or whatever. You can even have the inner child. So the inner child, the feeling is that there was a need that wasn't met, and there are wounded parts of you. that are still seeking love or acceptance or, whatever, like it tantrums or emotional reactivity or, running and hiding, um, like running away from something or completely avoiding conflicts. It's all, you know, based on that inner child, that maybe there's something that happened in your past that you didn't have a need met, and then you continually live out these needs hoping that they're getting met in your adult life, which it technically, you know, you can't do that outside of you. You can't, you when it comes to love, like, you have to be your own love, because you can't, nobody can fill that void for you, really. Nobody can fill that hole. So when you have love, like, there's the premature separation from love, and that could be um, like even birth traumas. That could be, again, crying in the crib and no one's coming, and you'll create these like codependencies with people, or even a victim mentality, or it's essentially a fear of separation or of being alone. So, and then it comes into the abandonment. That's also plays a part into it. Rejection is a big thing. That could be parental, um, academic, social, and it creates this fear that you're going to be rejected, that you don't want to go out and be heard. You don't want your voice to be heard because you're so fearful of being rejected on the larger scale. And this is even, we can get even more woo woo with this. This could be even like past lives or generational things, because for women, like, a lot of women healers, especially, they do have a fear of having their voice heard because of things back to like the Salem witch trials, that um, we're afraid that we could be burned at the stake because we express, because they express something, and it, people were being burned whether they were a witch or not, but they had something that was outside the norm. Or even with men, they have this fear that if they express something that is considered taboo, they could be exiled from the community or stoned to death. So these are things that have happened in the past. These are things that continue to live inside of your cells and get passed down generation to generation. So, we live with this fear of rejection, and we can constantly feel like we're being judged by others. So we're afraid to say the wrong thing. We're afraid to speak up. We might get easily offended, even, or we might be erratic, or have anger issues, or deep insecurities about ourselves, like how we look. And that can kind of go into the perfectionism thing as well. There is shame. That could be shame over your physical appearance, or even school, academic, social skills. This could be from parents. Like my grandma, she used to tell me, shame on you. That's something that sticks with you, right? So it can affect your self-image. It can affect your self-esteem. It also ties into that perfectionism saboteur, that you can even have intimacy issues that arise from that. Like, you don't want to explore things, even if they feel good, because you're afraid that somebody might think it's weird. or maybe you avoid, or even it gets into that people pleasing thing. So these all really tie into each other. Um, it's very common to have more than one saboteur, more than one trauma that's at play. So if you have these kind of symptoms or these events that are going on, like it's very common to have like several of them crossing over. Um, and then there's the absence of presence. So that's probably one of the bigger things for me. So this was like not paid attention to, or you're not acknowledged, or, you know, again, being left in the crib crying. So this can also run into low self-esteem, or you seek external validation that you need permission to do things. Like you don't feel like you can do them on your own. You have to tell somebody about it first, and if they approve of it, if they think it's a good idea, then you'll go for it. Or maybe love received is never enough. It's never enough. Like you want more, or you always feel slighted, even though this person's like giving their all to you. Or even with money, like you could give away your money and then feel like you never have enough money. It can turn into anxiety or depression. So all of these things, like these are the things that we deserve to get to know, like deserve to get down to the actual root of. Um, you know, the inner judge, or inner critic, like those are probably one of the biggest things that live inside of people today, because of how much social media has taken a play here, how much media in general. Like we look at celebrities as these perfect beings that can do no wrong, blah blah blah, whatever. And the second that the public finds out about something that they did wrong in their past, and the big thing right now is like P. Diddy, and I wouldn't the stuff that happened was like, I don't even want to look at some of the things that came out of that. Like, I'm not excusing the behavior at all, but we have this perception that these people are perfect, and then they come, like, say a wrong thing, or associate with the wrong person, or had something in their past that comes out in the media, and they get canceled, or they get essentially exiled, or go to jail. So it's very scary to our subconscious mind that what happens, like, if I do become this person out there that's talking, a thought leader, or become famous, or whatever, and then something from my past comes up, and then I get canceled, or I say the wrong thing. So these are very, very prevalent in today's times. And also with the perfectionism, like the need to look perfect, that I feel like plastic surgery has calmed down a little bit from what it was, but we live in a very plastic surgery society too. Like, we don't appreciate our looks, so we'll go and get something done to make ourselves look better, and it doesn't always end up in us feeling better, because we still perceive ourselves in a certain way in the mirror. So these are all things to really, really think about. Like, we consciously want certain things, we consciously want certain goals, but maybe we're feeling like things are sabotaging us, that things are hard, that we can't get this, can't do that. We feel stuck. And these are all subconscious things. So something to kind of chew on a little bit there, to think about. I would definitely encourage you all to I do have like a little quiz that I can drop in here, and you can take the quiz, and it kind of gets, for one, gives me an idea of where your root cause saboteurs might be, what they are, and it also gives you a good, like, something to chew on, like where might you have saboteurs that you're not really necessarily aware of. So I will drop that in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and end the video. And then what I'll do is, I don't have it set up to where it automatically tells you what your root cause saboteur is, because it takes a little bit more analyzing on my part. But what I can do is I can send you an email after it is submitted and give you a possibility. And then what we can do is we can jump on a call and talk about, a little bit more. We can get down to the actual root a little bit easier when I talk to you, because these are just kind of general questions. The other thing too is, it is October. So this is kind of the push month, what people would call the push month for especially entrepreneurs, where you're trying to close the year out strong. And of course, the holidays are coming up, so that's also a factor with money. And, people are buying gifts. So, of course, you want to be able to close the year out strong so that you can buy gifts for your loved ones. But this is what we call the big push, like the Q4, where the big pull. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about is that there's this 80-20 split. So 80% of the work is usually done in 20% of the time. So it's saying, like, the big push, you usually see those results in that 20% time effort, because there is a big push towards it. It is a like you can have efforts other places, but that 20% little push is usually what gets you the results there. So all that being said, we're going to be doing a wealth challenge, and it's actually going to be 6 days. So it is going to start on the 21st of October, which is a Monday. So I'm going to drop little videos with little tasks every single day for 6 days. And the 6th day is kind of like a bonus day, because I was only going to do 5 days, but we'll do a little bit longer video on the 6th day. And yeah, so this is going to help you call in that abundance, and it really gets your mindset changed towards living in abundance, having the resources that you have already, that you have right now. And it's really opening and expanding your mind and your view of the world, so that you can see where things are coming in at. So it'll be fun. It's just a little week-long challenge, not even like 6 days, but it'll give you something fun to do to close out the year. So I hope to see you all there for that, and hope to see you next Wednesday for our live. And everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. If you have any questions, please drop them below, and I will drop that quiz in there so that you're able to take it, and then we can analyze your results. Amazing. Bye, guys. Have an amazing, amazing week.